Cambridge, you'll want to go there. Okay, so we got this lady guiding us. Cambridge is beautiful, I love it, but she spent a good deal of time telling stories kind of about how Cambridge didn't want to let women study there. And
well, in the beginning,
in the beginning. And well, she was telling a bunch of stories about what happened, like how this one professor showed up and none of the men had come to class, but there were like 5 or 6 women sitting there. And the professor just looks up and goes, okay, so I see no one's here for class today. Shuts his book and walks out. And there's little stories like that. So I wrote in my journal, which you have to keep a journal while you're there, which is really a thing for you because you want to be able to look back and see how you felt. I kind of wrote a little note to Dr. Rogers. I was like, yeah, if you really think I'm going to apply here, you're kind of crazy.
Well, this is where Virginia Woolf, like, then they had their society here, and so her husband went to.
My favorite story from this campus, I love campus pranks, and my favorite story from this campus was a few engineering students, they never figured out who, and they never figured out how, got an old, like, I don't know what model car, but it was one of these old things made out of, solid iron. And they got it up on the roof of one of these buildings that has no roof access.
The library.
It was the library. It had no roof access. The only way to get to it is going through a window from a building that's like, there's an alleyway and then there's another building right next to it. So to get to it, you have to jump out of that window and grab the ledge of the library and then scramble up.
Apparently
so,
hopping's a popular thing.
Well, there was a society at Cambridge that a fraternity.
All they did was
that
roof
you
hop.
had to jump from one of these buildings to the other, and if you didn't make it, you didn't make it. So sometimes I think they put mattresses down there or something. But
Maybe they didn't.
They're pretty close together too. That's why they like to do it together.
But nobody knows how they got that car up there, and I'm still kind of scratching my head over it. It's not falling down.
No, this is the London Bridge. Actually, we didn't get to do this time, but I've been to London previously. And if you actually take a little ferry ride around the river, you can see right in here it's etched like London Bridge in it. And I just thought it was cool. They actually built a second London Bridge. I think this is the original one, but they actually built a second one because, I don't know, maybe London Bridge is falling down and scared everybody.
I took this picture from the Tower of London, which we visited on their first day.
It was weird having the Tower of London right there, and then London's financial district right across the river. So you have all of these huge hyper-modern buildings with glass and all of that other stuff, and then you're standing next to buildings that are really old. So that was kind of strange.
The first day we got into London, we put our stuff up at our hotel, and we actually had a really, really great hotel in the middle of, I wore my tube shirt because we were talking about this, but you can't see, but okay, so imagine this in that part, we're like there, in the middle of London. Anyway, the first time we get there, we are starving. I've not eaten for like 8 hours, and I know you guys don't really know, not all of you know me well, but like, not eating is not something that I can do. And I was like, Dr. Rogers, I can't handle this. And all he wanted to do was get Haagen-Dazs, but like at 8 o'clock at night, I gotta get food in my belly. But after the food incident, we got some food finally. We went to Leicester Square, which is in the middle of London, and there, all around it are handprints of like famous actors from London, and that was really cool. Like we put our hands in like Jude Law's hands, and it's really beautiful at night.
Yeah, they actually got to go see Jude Law and Hamlet. They had to stand up in our play, didn't you?
Yeah, we people had a free night, and a lot of people chose to go see plays. I know that
I went to go see
We
two
saw
plays.
Chicago with Jerry Springer.
Yeah, Jerry Springer was in Chicago.
Yeah, Jerry Springer is scary up close.
How was Jude Law? He was nominated for the British equivalent for a Tony for that role.
it was so great. We actually only all of us stood in line to get tickets to Hamlet, and only 3 of us were able to. So it was me and 2 other people, and we had to stand the entire time. Like it was standing balcony, and so we're forever standing up there like 3 hours. But Jude Law was phenomenal in it, and I mean I really enjoyed the play. So Hamlet's like my favorite Shakespeare play, so I couldn't miss that. But we later would go see another play where we had to see more. But we'll talk about that when we get there. This is where Anne Boleyn was
hidden in other people's.
You can't really read it up on that screen, but it says "You stand death, cut away." Like that's what the image I got in front of the pillow is. Which I think is cool. But
Which is funny because he was like constructing like part of the building for her, and so while she was getting her head cut off, she got to see like her where she was gonna stay and live and everything like unfinished for her.
And this is Big Ben.
What? Wait, remind me. This is next to that big.
Westminster Abbey.
I have
Yeah,
that
okay.
picture of Westminster, but
Remind me what stone is in. There's a famous.
That's in the British Museum. That's
I have a picture.
No, not the Rosetta Stone. There's something else. Some famous document.
No.
But you're thinking
I didn't have a
Salisbury
picture of that, but we saw the Magna Carta when we were traveling. We
Yeah,
stopped at a
Salisbury.
church.
They look the same on the inside.
But we stopped at a lot of churches. It's easy.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize that this was Big Ben, which I know makes me sound really stupid, but I was like, where is Big Ben? I can't find it. And then I was like, oh wait, that's
Look up.
that huge clock up there.
Yeah, well, you get out of the underground too, and like you walk out and there is Big Ben, like
Yeah, so
right
you're
in front
kinda
of you. So
like-
you're not even expecting to see it. But
A lot of it's like that. I mean, it's the same way. It was the same way in Rome. You just step off the subway and holy crap, there's
Yes,
the
yeah.
Colosseum.
okay, and well, the one on your left is Westminster Abbey, and this is where a lot of poets are and
Love
really
that.
good as well
Everybody.
are.
Oh, it's
Florence Nightingale
Yeah.
was there, so the nursing people that we had there were like, oh, Florence Nightingale. So
Yeah, and a lot of them are buried here,
Oh,
and
so-
the Poets Corner is where they have statues of a bunch of them and little writings that they would do, and it's just
Isn't Elizabeth I buried in Westminster?
yeah, she is.
And Mary Queen of Scots is buried there as well, and I mean
Okay.
everyone famous you could think of.
I want to say that they're buried in the same room.
Yeah,
they're it's one big room and it has the tomb of Mary Queen of Scots and then
Their tombs are beautiful. They're carved, or some of them are metallic, but they have these images of the queens laying down on top of them, and that's how they did most of their tombs. Is they had images of the person who was buried there, carved in stone or metal.
And this is St. Paul's, and you actually have the opportunity to like climb up a lot of
We
steps
did.
and get on top of
A lot.
it, and it's beautiful. I mean,
Huge
you have a
dome
great
up there.
yeah. And by the time we got to St. Paul's, we had lost another person in our group, but luckily with the tube, it's really easy to find your way back to where you need to go. But
Not everyone took a trip to Buckingham Palace, but
Oh, yeah.
some of us did, and so these are some pictures of Buckingham Palace.
I
You didn't
spent
get to see the
that-
change of the guards.
Yeah, 'cause
I spent
the
that
Queen
day.
wasn't there. She was in Scotland where he just came from. And so there wasn't like the guards that were really famous for it and everything. But she was in Scotland, so we were there.
I spent that day trying to find my way down to the old exhibition center where the World's Fair used to be held back at the turn of the century, and I didn't get to go down there because the tubes, certain stations were closed off that weekend for maintenance, so I couldn't actually get down there without taking this complicated system of buses, and I was just like, I'm totally gonna get lost if I do that. So
The tube system is remarkably easy to navigate, but
They
it
close
doesn't get easy
things.
when they close things or their renovations. And we were coming from Portobello Road, like in Nottingham. Yeah. But anyway, the signs got mixed up, and so we kept getting on the wrong train, and we'd have to get up on the next stop, and then we'd be like, where are we supposed to be?
There were like 4 trains and like jumped up and ran off like
Yeah.
4 times. We were so confused.
yeah, I actually won that. I got mistaken from someone from London until I spoke, but I looked like I knew where I was going because this one station was closed off, and I just took a different route, and all of a sudden this guy started following me. I was like, "Can you show me how to get here?" So I had to give him directions.
But on the tube system, they have a map of it, and it'll.
The map on for sure.
the map wasn't helpful to me. I get lost underground.